Wasted. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about the Atropos Fortress 2 spy knife. Red team all the way, baby. Anyways, I've been seeing this knife being flipped around on YouTube a lot. And first thing that caught my eye was how simple this design was. Obviously, aesthetically, it's based off of the knives that the spy characters use in Team Fortress 2. But one thing that really caught my eye is how simple the design is. A lot of butterfly knives nowadays have this very overbuilt vibe to them, which, don't get me wrong, is really fucking awesome, but there's something beautiful about simplicity. The balisong design in general originally was very simple. You know, there's no springs, there's no real like locking mechanics that you really need to like worry about. It's all done by pressure and physics. So the simplicity of this design really caught my eye. This is titanium handles, N69 blade steel. I've taken this to work, broke down a few boxes, still is really sharp. Atropos is exceedingly sharp like all the fucking time, so if you ever are worried about bally bros like calling you out over a dull knife, a dull blade flipping, buy an Atropos and flip with that. And if you can flip with it without seriously injuring yourself, I'd say your flipping skills are like, you know, they're not fake. So, yeah. Flipping wise, this knife is not bad at all. It's not amazing. I have a lot of butterfly knives that I spent a lot of money on that are built to be great flippers, and I even, woo, that was close. That was really close. Yeah, it nicked me a little bit. Okay, no aerials. But what was I gonna say about that? But yeah, no, this, the weight distribution on this is pretty nice. It's really nice. The spacers back here are really small and they're titanium, but you could feel it. So I wouldn't really call this handle heavy, but I am very aware of the weights and the handle bias of it. The blade is kind of this like weird spear point tanto kind of thing going on. The tip there's barely a tip, so the tip's kind of strong. But yeah, like, it's a little bit heavier than, I think this might be the heaviest knife I have, which is weird because it's a little shorter than, let's say, my Chimera. Oh, it's got a little cut there. It's like really short compared to my Chimera, but this is heavier. So this is not a grade A flipper. I feel like this is a solid B- of a flipper. It works great. You could do almost every trick on it. It's exceedingly sharp. Oh man, that's bad. Give me a sec. Alright, so this thing was so sharp that the little nick I thought was actually a little bit deeper. It didn't hurt because that's how sharp it was. So yeah, gave you a little preview of what you're dealing with if you buy this knife. yeah, make sure you sanitize and bandage your cuts. That's what happens when you play with a sharp knife, but doesn't mean you should deal with an infection about it. Especially in times of Rona, you know what I mean? Anyways. Oh, what was I talking about before this thing bit me? Yeah, so this knife definitely is a little, how would I say, rough. This area pinches a lot when you're twirling. I, for one, don't have too much of a problem with that because I flip a lot of palm knives. Oh yeah, this came with this little atropos sheath, which fits almost all my balisong, so that was really nice. Palm knives, these horns here, they kind of lead to pinching when you flip sometimes. So this thing is a little protruded and pinches when you twirl close to the end of the handle like that, but it's something that when you flip it long enough, you figure out how to get around or just deal with. But yeah. Also, tolerances on this, they're okay. It does have tap, but for how cheap this knife is, which is, I paid about $120, something close to that plus shipping, so it was under 200, still under 200 bucks with the shipping. If you're really upset about a titanium balisong that is well balanced and it has an original design, well, original-ish, it got its aesthetics from Team Fortress, then you really have no clue what like things actually are, because this is really solid. This is a solid steak dinner of a knife. It's not lobster, it's not something super impressive, but it's good and nourishing. This is if you bought a ribeye from a grocery store, put salt and pepper, threw butter on a pan, and if you know what you're doing, which Atropos clearly knows what he is doing, or they're doing, made a really, really solid meal of a knife. This thing is nourishing to flip. I mean, I wouldn't hold it against like any of my other American-made balisongs, but it's still, it's different enough to where I like flipping. I still like flipping this after about 2 weeks. And it's solidly built, so you could take this to work, cut boxes with it, and it's cheap enough to where it hits that weird sweet spot of usable in it, where you don't feel like you're messing up a really, really, really nice knife. So yeah, I would 100% recommend this to anyone who is starting off in the hobby. Maybe if they've only been flipping trainers and they're interested in live blades, they want to get to the real deal, but they don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars or scouring through the internet and waiting for a drop, or like making a shady deal with somebody with no accountability online. The wait time is a little much and it may feel like you're being scammed, but Atropos always comes through. Great company, and yeah, I feel like they really hit it out of the park with this one. This is probably like exactly what a beginner needs in a balisong. So yeah, I just wanted to gush about this knife. Ugh, gush in more ways than one. Anyways, y'all stay sharp, okay?